Hi everyone, my name is Lisa Smith and I'm here to show you how to actually transplant an African violet or repot an African violet. I have my lovely audience here today. And let's not forget that fabulous cameraman. Anyway, one of the first things that I'd like to share with you is the fact that African violets can be ordered online and they are often shipped to you in packaging that actually has the foliage kind of sticking straight up, and then these actual spikes or whatever, these little wood dowels are in there to kind of protect that foliage. The foliage for an African violet can be very, very temperamental. Also, the African violet is actually wrapped in saran wrap to actually maintain its moisture during shipping. And this is very easy to take care of. You would just take a normal utility scissors and you would cut that off and then very carefully remove the dowels and the stakes in there, and then remove the plastic right off of the plastic pot and very gently around the base of the leaves. But I have already done that with this one right here. And I do like to label a lot of my plants so I know what variety it is. But this is, again, an African violet, shipped the same way. One of the first things you're going to want to do in preparation when you get an African violet shipped to you is you're going to want to make sure before repotting that you prep the plastic pot by loosening up and squeezing lightly against the plastic pot to loosen up the root ball and have it ready and staged for transplanting. The next thing you're going to want to do is you're going to want to make sure that you've got a good pot that you can transplant or repot the African violet into. Something that is going to retain moisture because they like humidity. And I really like the clay pots because they do just that. And you're going to want to make sure that you have prepped your pot, that it's nice and clean. If need be, you can use a light bleaching agent of 1 part to 10 parts, 1 part bleach to 10 parts water, and sterilize your pot because you don't want your African violet collecting any type of diseases or anything. The other thing that Master Gardener Jean Ross from the University of California Cooperative Extension recommends is she often uses an actual African violet potting soil for her African violets. However, she also recommends that you can use a standard potting soil that would be fully organic and have 3 parts peat moss to the soil mixture. And that's exactly what I have here because in our local area we do not currently have any African violet potting soil. So this is full of peat moss and it's very lightweight. It's something that's going to actually retain the moisture and it's going to make sure that it's going to be fast draining so that you don't have excessive moisture sitting on your root base of your African violet. So we're going to go ahead and get started. One of the first things that I like to do with my pot is I like to do a comparison, and I can see that I'm going to have to put in probably about 3/4 full of potting soil before I can actually do a measurement of the plant to the pot. Okay, that's about 3/4 the mixture into the pot. So now that I've already loosened that root ball up, I'm going to very carefully remove it from the plastic pot. I'm going to check my roots, make sure that they look healthy. And in order to do that, to know that they're healthy, Master Gardener Jean Ross also says that you can see that a lot of the roots are actually white. Or a very light brown or a white look to them, which demonstrates that it's very healthy and not a root-bound plant. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to test to see if I put this in. Yep, I'm going to get the right height where my leaves are going to be about level with the pot. So based on that, I'm going to go ahead then and I'm going to fill in the rest of the pot with this light mixture of soil. Okay, I'm going to make sure I kind of get that evenly spread around. And it's okay if you get a little dirt on the leaves because eventually that will come off. All right. Now that I know that I've got it in there firmly, one of the first steps you're going to want to do for watering is you're going to want to make sure that you water around the top first. And the reason for that is you want to make sure that you have some moisture around the top layer where the plant is to begin with. And remember, this is a fast draining soil, so that water is not going to stay there. And then for probably the next week, every other day, you're probably going to want to add water to the bottom, which is the preferred method to actually watering your African violet, is adding water to the bottom. They prefer to be watered from the bottom up instead of the top down, and that actually protects your leaves. Once you've got that done and you've actually got it repotted, then you can place it in your home in a nice area where it can get some sunlight. Not too much sunlight. Keep it out of the south sun, but I would definitely put it in an area where it can get some light so you can see some beautiful blooms. That's how you repot an African violet. Thank you.